Have you ever had late or unpaid invoices for your business? I bet you have. Hey there, it's Pranath. Late invoices are a common pain point for many businesses that can strain your cash flow and waste your valuable time chasing payments. I'm going to show you how I built an AI automation that helps many of my clients with this. This AI automation tracks outstanding invoices and sends personalized reminders at predefined set points, helping you reduce your late payments considerably and handling this chasing up and pain point for you. So for this example, I'm going to use this spreadsheet of invoices, and so it has kind of invoice number, the customer name, the email address, the invoice date, the due date, the amount, and whether it was paid and unpaid. And what I'm going to do is show you how I built an AI automation that will check all of this, look at the due dates, work out which ones are late, and check against a predefined set of late dates. So let's say what we might want to do is send emails at certain dates. So say, for example, when an invoice was 7 days late, and then maybe another one when it's 14 days, another one when if it was 30 days late, and then maybe a final email when it was maybe more than 60 days late. And of course, what we'd probably want to do is, make the first email, if it's just 7 days late, just really super friendly, sort of say, hey, just sort of checking in, hope everything's all right. Because of course, a lot of customers maybe just forget, and sometimes just a little reminder can help really reduce the late payments and get that paid. But then, of course, maybe there are very occasionally some customers that are not paying for whatever reason, and we want to make sure we follow those up with increasingly concerned emails. And we probably want to do that at predefined dates, and then just have that done automatically for all invoices that may be late. So while we're using a Google Sheet for this example, this could connect with any database or any system CRM that you have, and the automation tool that I use can connect with whatever software or system you use to store your customer details and invoice details. So without further ado, let's get into showing you how to create this AI automation. So the first part we need to do is actually create an account with this system called Make. So Make is an AI automation platform that I use for my professional work, and it's a really, really good platform for creating AI automations. So the invoice follow-up system I'm going to create looks like this. And so I'm going to talk you through all the different parts of it and how it works, basically. So let's have a look at the first module. So this first module is searching the sheets in a Google Sheet. And that will basically be looking through this Google Sheet and looking for the first invoice to process. So let's have a look at this. So the first part just connects to our Google account so that we can access all our Google Sheets. And then it's going to select the specific sheet. So this sheet is the due invoices sheet, and it's just checking the first sheet of that. So what are we checking for? So what we're going to check for is the first invoice that is currently unpaid, because we want to obviously ignore all of the paid invoices and just focus on the invoices that are not paid yet, and just check how many days late they are, because we're going to do certain emails basically based on how late they are. So here this is basically saying we're going to check the paid column and return the first invoice is basically unpaid. So if we look back at the spreadsheet, this first invoice is actually unpaid, so we're going to pick this one up as the first invoice that we're going to check how many days late this is, and then maybe do something based on that. So that's this first module that will pick the first unpaid invoice that we want to check. So in the next module, this is the tools module. So what does this do? This is basically looking at the due date and then converting the due date to how many days late we are. So obviously this is going to change based on what our current date is. As time goes past, then obviously any due invoices that are late are going to get more late, and that will mean that there are more days that it is late. And so what this clever little formula here does is it basically takes the due date and does some arithmetic. It basically converts the due date into a number, and then it takes the date of today, converts that into a number, and subtracts one from the other, and that will give us the amount of days that this invoice is late in relation to today's date, basically. So that's what this little formula does here. Now the next bit is basically then going to so this is called a router, and it's basically going to check this numbers of days late against various criteria. So we can see this criteria here, just here. So we're basically going to send out potentially 4 different emails depending on how late a certain invoice is. So this first email is going to get sent out if it's 7 days late, and this second email is going to get sent out if it's 14 days late. This third email is going to get sent out if it's 30 days late, and this email is going to get sent out if it's more than 60 days late. Now, these emails will only get sent out if it's precisely those numbers of days late, because we probably don't want to be sending them emails every day. Just sometimes a little reminder on a certain date might be probably enough, and that's certainly what I've found. So this, if it's 5 days late, 3 days late, no emails go out. Only if it's 7 days late will this special 7-day email go out, and then not another one will go out until if it's 14 days late, because of course they might pay it off on the 8th day. So this will only send these emails out if it's exactly these numbers of days late, so that we don't end up sending multiple emails. We're just going to send a specific email on a specific number of dates. And the other thing we can see here is I'm actually choosing to create a draft email. Now that's just, you know, for demonstration purposes, but actually you could easily convert this from sending a draft email to sending actually the email and actually send it out. So this is just really for demonstrating to you what it does, basically. So let's have a look at what each of these emails does. So this first one will trigger if the number of days late for this invoice is exactly 7 days. So let's have a look at what this email will do. So basically, we first kind of need to configure all the details of that. Now, the first bit of that means we need to connect to our Google account. So this is basically using Gmail, and you'd need to use a slightly different method if you have a different email provider. So I'm using Gmail, so I first connect to my Google account. Next, we need to create the folder, or that the draft email is going to go, and it's just going to go to our draft emails, basically. So now these are all the different parts of the email we're going to set. So the first bit is the email address. So that's basically what it's done is it's going to, of course, take the first row, and in that first row will be an email address. So this part here is picking up the email address part of the late invoice entry. And here are basically the details of the rest of the details of the email. So here's the subject line. It's going to be super friendly. Just it says checking in. And here are the details of the email. So hi, and then first name, because of course this is basically like a template we can reuse for any late invoice, basically that's 7 days late. So we say hi and then get their first name, and it will extract their first name from the first name column, which in this case will be John, and it puts that whatever their first name is in there. And again, it's super friendly. I hope you're well. I just wanted to check in on the invoice, and then we take the invoice number. Again, we're extracting that from the spreadsheet row that we extracted, which is this invoice number. So we quote the invoice number I sent over last week. Did you get that okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Pranath. So super friendly. Maybe they've just forgotten, or they got a bit busy, and this is just the first follow-up email, and in my experience, most clients just end up paying after this. So obviously we want our first email to be really friendly to clients, because sometimes it's just really just accidental. Now, if for some reason a client's invoice has got a bit later, so in this case, if it's 14 days late, we're going to send a slightly different email. And so again, for this email module, the way we set it up, connect to Google account, select the draft folder, and to email address that we've extracted from the spreadsheet. So here the subject line, a little bit different: outstanding payment invoice, and we quote the invoice number because again we got all this information, so we can personalize this email, which makes it a lot more responsive. So here's the detail of this second follow-up email after 14 days. So I'm following up on invoice number and so we're also grabbing the amount of the invoice just to let them know, which was due for payment on whatever the due date was and remains outstanding. So could you please confirm that you've received this invoice and advise when payment will be made? If you're experiencing any issues with the invoice or have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you already sent payment, please provide the payment details so I can locate it in our system. Thank you for your prompt attention to this. Kind regards, Pranath. So still friendly, but we're just following up a little bit more, just checking why they didn't get back. We want to make sure that they take this seriously, and also just check in if there's been maybe some problems. Maybe they sent the payment but we haven't received it for some reason, or it hasn't come through our system. So we're just checking again, but this is like a second follow-up email because we still haven't received a payment, and we've already sent one follow-up. So this one is obviously a little bit more pressing them for payment. Okay, now this email we're going to set out after 30 days. So it's about a month. So yeah, now obviously we're a bit more worried. We've sent 2 reminder emails and they still haven't paid. So this email is going to be a bit stronger, I guess. So again, we just connect to our Google account. We set up all the usual stuff as before. Email, we grab the email from the sheet. Okay, so now, yeah, this email is getting a little bit more urgent. So the subject line is urgent, overdue payment, invoice number. Okay, so here's how I worded it anyway. So, dear first name, I'm writing to express our concern regarding invoice number for the amount, which is now 30 days overdue. Despite our previous communications, we have not received payment or any explanation for the delay. This outstanding payment is now seriously overdue and requires your immediate attention. Please process the payment within the next 5 business days. If there's any issues preventing payment, it's essential for you to contact us immediately to discuss the situation, which I think is fair after a month of not hearing anything. Sent 2 reminders. Please note that continued non-payment may affect your credit terms with us in future transactions. Regards, Pranath. So, yeah, I think after a month and several reminders and they haven't replied, then yeah, I think this is a fair, reasonable third follow-up email. And okay, I have a final 4th follow-up email. So, and this is sent after 60 days and over 2 months. And they still haven't paid, and we've sent 3 email reminders. So this one is going to be our, yeah, it's going to be our final email follow-up reminder, and yeah, the strongest one we're going to send. So here it is. Okay, usual setup as before to connect to the Google account and the email, and then okay, so subject line, final notice, legal action pending, invoice number. Okay, so let's have a look. This is what I wrote. Dear first name, this is a final notice regarding invoice number for amount, originally due on, and we give the due date, which is over 2 months ago, which remains unpaid despite multiple reminders. Unless we receive a payment in full within 7 days of this notice, we have no choice but to immediately suspend all services and credit facilities and statutory late payment fees and interest. Transfer this matter to our legal department and debt collection proceedings. To avoid these measures and additional costs, please make immediate payments for the full amount. If payment has been made, please provide proof of payment within 24 hours of receiving this notice. Sincerely, Pranath. So yeah, I would hope I would never have to send one of these, and I haven't as yet, to be honest. But yeah, so now this is just the one I've made, and you can completely customize this. You can customize what dates the emails are sent at, what the emails say. So you'll have your own requirements and way that you might want to communicate with someone, depending on how late they've been. You'll have your own way, and this can be completely customized to send specific email on specific dates. This is just the example I've created for 4 reminders at these dates, but yeah, this is completely customizable. So would you like to see a live test? Let's see how this would work. So this example invoice is unpaid and it's already late, and so I also know it's going to be triggered by one of the emails because I've set it that way. It's just an example. So let's see how this will work. So basically this guy John Smith will be getting a reminder email for his invoice, basically, or we'll make a draft email that we could have sent, but it's just going to be made as a draft just to see how this works. Great, so let's test it out. So to test it out, we go to run once, and so let's start our AI automation invoice follow-up system. So here we go. So it's checking, and it's got the first invoice, and it's detected, it's triggered the 7 days late one, and it's already sent the email. So let's go and have a look in my email account. So if I go to, let's have a look, drafts, let's have a look what it's done. Has it sent? Yep, okay, so here's the draft email. So let's have a look at what it's sent. Okay, so John Smith, yeah, checking in. Hi John, I hope you're well. I just wanted to check in on the invoice number I sent over last week. Did you get that okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, Pranath. So this is just the first reminder after 7 days, the super friendly one. So yeah, that's it working. And basically you could use this to manage all of your invoices. So this could be chasing up individually hundreds or even thousands of invoices, just checking all the time if any of them are late, and it will be sending the appropriate email at the exact time that you would want, and just managing all that for you. You could further customize this, for example, to maybe if it ended up sending the final email, it could maybe also notify a certain other member of staff to start following this up. So or maybe take some other actions, basically. So you could really customize this automation. But if you think about it, this AI automation completely replaces the services of a department or member of staff. There are many businesses whose entire business model is to chase up invoices for other businesses. So this AI automation could far more cheaply and efficiently be chasing up invoices, if it happens, which it does from time to time, automatically for you without you needing to worry about it and stress. And this could handle it all for you at scale for checking hundreds or even thousands of invoices, and if any of them fulfill the criteria that you've defined, this will be sending out the appropriate reminder email. And in most cases, just sending up a few reminders will actually, in my experience and those of my clients, actually get a lot of these invoices paid. So this AI automation for invoice follow-up could really save you a huge amount of money and time, and just improve your cash flow with very, very minimal cost compared to what it would require a human to do all this for you. So I hope you found this useful, and I hope this has helped you better understand how AI automations can help improve your business and reduce your costs and allow you to do much more with less of your time. And if you'd like to better understand how AI automation can help your processing or chasing up of invoices, or help with any other area of your business, then you can book a free AI automation consultation with me with the link in the description. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.